Russian troops attacked the city of Zaporizhzhia, killing and injuring civilians. A kindergarten was among their targets. 1,500 North Korean Special Forces soldiers are already deployed in Russia. South Korea summoned the Russian envoy. 95 Ukrainian defenders returned home in the latest prisoner exchange. Hi, I'm Daniel Kosoy, and this is United 24 Media. At least 2 people were killed and 15 others injured when Russian forces attacked the city of Zaporizhzhia on the morning of October 21st. According to the regional governor, Ivan Fedorov, more than 30 residential buildings were damaged. Among the wreckage, a kindergarten was partially destroyed. And men and women in their 40s are reported to be in critical condition.
Imagine 100 meters away. It's horrible. I thought the corner of the house was going to fall down. We are sitting, waiting. They're using the double tap attacks tactic. There are people here in the shelter.
On Sunday evening, October 20th, Russian forces started an attack on Ukraine. By Monday morning, 9:30 a.m., they had launched nearly 120 aerial threats. Among them, 116 drones, reported the Ukrainian Air Forces. Defenders downed 59 of the threats across 12 regions. In Kiev, the air raid alert lasted for more than 5 hours. Despite all threats being eliminated in the capital, falling debris was recorded in several districts. Also, a high-rise residential building in the Kiev region was damaged, with balconies on the top floor being destroyed. Russian troops also attacked the city of Kharkiv on Sunday night using Cab 250 aerial bombs. 13 civilians were injured. Russian forces launched strikes on 3 districts, damaging residential buildings, civilian services, and private properties. To follow the latest news from Ukraine, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ukrainian drones have targeted a major Russian explosives plant. On October 20th, onlookers reported an explosion in the Nizhny Novgorod region at the location of one of Russia's largest manufacturers of military explosives, guided aerial bombs, and air defense system parts, some 900 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. The plant in question fell under EU and US sanctions at the start of Russia's all-out war in 2022. Sources in the security service confirmed to Suspilne Media that the factory is a key part of the Russian war machine, making it a legitimate strike target. The United States will provide Ukraine with a new military aid package worth $400 million. This was announced by the US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin in a meeting with President Zelensky. The head of the Pentagon arrived in Kiev on an unannounced visit on Monday morning. While traveling to the Ukrainian capital, he divulged to reporters that in the meeting with Zelensky and Defense Minister Rustam Umerov, they will discuss continued U.S. aid to the nation's military efforts and weapons needs.
Thank you very much for coming. First of all, thank you, American people, President Biden, and bipartisan support. We are very thankful for all those supports from the United States that's been done for Ukraine from the very beginning of this war.
I know that the Kremlin's war is a nightmare from which the Ukrainian people are trying to awake. But we should all understand that Putin's assault is a warning. It is a sneak preview of a world built by tyrants and thugs. A chaotic, violent world carved into spheres of influence. A world where bullies trample their smaller neighbors. And a world where aggressors force free people to live in fear.
The defense ministers of the G7 nations expressed their unwavering support for Ukraine's path to a full Euro-Atlantic integration, including eventual membership to NATO. This declaration was made during a meeting in Italy. The ministers emphasized the importance of Ukraine's military becoming fully interoperable with NATO forces and reaffirming their commitment to providing both short-term and long-term military assistance. They also asserted their steadfast support for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity.
This war that Russia is waging against Ukraine has long since become an international issue that extends far beyond Europe. The fact that North Korea is massively supporting Russia with soldiers, as we are now hearing, but also in particular with ammunition and other weapons. The fact that China is playing a role in providing support, in the gray areas at least. All of this makes it clear that this conflict is spreading to other regions of the world in terms of its impact.
South Korea summoned the Russian envoy in Seoul, condemning the DPRK troop dispatch to Ukraine. On October 21st, the South Korean Defense Ministry issued a statement urging the immediate withdrawal of North Korean soldiers from Russia. Seoul also condemned the DPRK illegal involvement in Ukraine.
North Korea's involvement in Russia's invasion war is a violation of UN resolutions and should be condemned as an illegal act by the international community. Furthermore, it poses a serious threat to our national security and the safety of our people. We strongly condemn North Korea's actions and sternly warn them to halt immediately.
According to the Yonhap news agency, 1,500 North Korean Special Forces soldiers are already deployed in Russia. The South Korean National Intelligence Service traced the DPRK troop dispatch by sea, directly from Pyongyang to Russian-controlled territory. Meanwhile, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed their concern on October 21st with a call to de-escalation.
With regard to the crisis in Ukraine, China's position is consistent and clear, and we hope that all parties will push for de-escalation of the situation and commit themselves to a political solution.
The Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant was yet again on the verge of blackout due to Russian shelling, says the Ukrainian Ministry of Energy in a statement released on October 21st. According to the statement, the nuclear station is currently being powered by the last remaining power line due to intense Russian artillery fire. The ministry warns that should the last power line be cut, the ensuing blackouts would endanger the surrounding area with radioactive fallout. The International Atomic Energy Agency funded Russian research in temporarily occupied Crimea, reports Radio Liberty, citing obtained documents. The journalist stated that according to the news agency's internal documents, the IAEA signed at least 2 agreements with Russian research institutes, with the latest being extended in summer 2019. Ukrainian Defense Forces detected and destroyed a Russian Buk M3 air defense system. This was reported by the General Staff of the Armed Forces. The complex, worth between $40 and $50 million, was located nearly 60 kilometers from the front line. The operation was conducted on the night of October 21st by the units of the Unmanned Systems Forces, in cooperation with additional units of the Defense Forces. 95 Ukrainian defenders returned from Russian captivity on October 18th. According to the Coordination Headquarters for the Treatment of Prisoners of War, the Ukrainians were returned in exchange for 95 Russian soldiers.
I want to see my child, my beloved woman, my mother. I want a lot of things.
President Zelensky reported that among the released were warriors who defended Mariupol and Azovstal, as well as the Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv, Kiev, Chernihiv, and Kherson regions. Among those to return home was human rights defender, journalist, and military serviceman Maxim Butkevich. He was captured in July 2022, after which in March 2023, a court in the self-proclaimed Luhansk People's Republic sentenced him to 13 years in prison.
It's hard to take this all in. I'm very happy, but this is only a premonition of how happy I will be in the future. I'm home. First I need to recover, then I have a lot of work to do.
This was the 58th prisoner exchange since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion.
3,767 of our citizens have been returned home. The coordination headquarters continues to work in this direction, and we will fulfill our motto: we will return everyone, right till the end.
That's it for today. We are United 24 Media. Thank you for being with us, and see you on Wednesday.